Dear viewers, today we will discuss very important topic, that is the nuts and dried fruits. We will describe them and differentiate and also discuss their health benefits. And at the end, we will discuss some harmful effects or the side effects. And at the last, we will give some recommendations on daily use. So, first of all, we will describe the nuts. Nuts are actually the fruits. Those are composed of a hard shell enclosing a seed, and the seed is usually edible. Generally, if we say that the dried seeds are called nuts, which are enclosed inside a shell. The shell may be dehiscent or indehiscent, means it may be torn apart or the split apart, or it may stay intact. The most popular nuts are the almond, peanut, walnut, and pistachio. And on the other hand, if we talk about dried fruits, these are basically fresh fruits which are later on dried to reduce their moisture content and in order to preserve them for the longer period of the time. These are very good ready-made snacks for the breakfast and also for mid-meal breaks. And actually fruits shrinks during the drying process and leaving a small energy dense dried fruits, which are also called as the powerhouse of the energy or the power bombs. The most popular dried fruits are the raisins, dates, prunes, figs, and apricots. If we try to differentiate between the nuts and the dried fruits, there is very clear cut differentiation. Nuts are actually the seeds, and their hard shell may be dehiscent or indehiscent, and they naturally have low moisture content at maturity or after ripening. On the other hand, dried fruits are actually the fruits, not the seed, and these are basically pulpy and juicy in nature, which are later on dried and preserved to improve their shelf life and to enhance their stay life property. And this feature makes them very suitable for off-season availability. So the popular dried fruits and nuts are actually the raisins, dates, prunes, dried apricots, and dried figs. These are very good dried fruits and very popular. On the other hand, almonds, cashew, peanut, walnut, and pistachio are the very popular nuts. So later on we will discuss these nuts one by one. We will discuss their health benefits, and then we will discuss the health benefits of dried fruits. The very first nuts is the almond. Almond is actually very suitable and conventional substitute for the snacks. It is rich in antioxidants and have zero cholesterol level. Almonds are the rich source of the dietary fibers, magnesium, iron, and the calcium, and it is very useful for the skin health, hair, teeth, and the overall body health. It is useful to prevent the dandruff and take care of the scalp and also prevent the hair fall. And it also reduces the melanin production in the skin and keeps the skin moisturized. And it actually almonds have the good proportion of the unsaturated fatty acids, and which are very useful to reduce the cholesterol level and the blood sugar levels. And it is also providing a relief from the constipation and in respiratory issues and very heart disorders. Almonds are also very helpful to reduce the body weight. The second one is the cashew. Cashew is also locally called as the kaju in Pakistan in Urdu language, and it is a good source of iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc, and it is very helpful to control the diabetes, also useful to control the blood sugar level, and it is promotes the brain functioning and prevents the headaches. Peanut is another nut. It is basically consumed in roasted form. It is a good source of monounsaturated fatty acids, which are useful to maintain the heart health. The red skin peanuts are having the folate, whereas the other normal peanuts are having the good source of the fiber, vitamin E, which are very useful to improve the blood pressure in the human health. Walnuts. Walnuts is another nut and it is containing actually the omega-3 fatty acids, which are very useful to improve the overall body health and also help to fight against the LDL cholesterol and also improve the cardiac or the heart health. These are also useful to prevent different metabolic disorders like the diabetes and cancer. Walnuts are actually known as the brain food because it resembles with the brain structure and they are also very helpful in brain development. Walnuts are the rich source of vitamin B1, B2 and B6 and folic acid. And walnuts also containing many minerals like manganese, copper, magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, iron, calcium and potassium. Walnut is actually very useful to reduce the inflammation, very helpful to maintain the body weight, and useful to for the skin care, and also improve the hairs and make them silky and shiny. Pistachio. Pistachio is very useful to control the blood cholesterol level, also helpful to control the diabetes and improve or enhance the immunity. And most importantly, it is very important to improve the sex desire in men, especially men. And it is also helpful to control the body weight and it can cure the dermatitis. Next, we will discuss about the dried fruits. We have already defined them and enlisted them. Now we will discuss their benefits one by one. The very first are the dates. These are very useful for the human health because these are useful to improve the bone health, improve nervous system. These can cure night blindness and anemia and also useful for the hair health. Dates are actually rich in vitamins, proteins, minerals, and natural sugars, and useful to provide the relief from constipation. And these are also rich source of antioxidants, potassium, iron, and fiber. So these dates are actually useful to reduce the oxidative damage. These can moderate the blood sugar and also relieve from the severe pain during pregnancy in females. Prunes. Prunes are basically the dried form of the plums. These are rich source of the fiber, potassium, vitamin A, and vitamin K. These are known as the natural laxative because these are having the higher fiber content and sorbitol. So these are useful to improve the stool frequency and their consistency and also relieving from constipation. Prunes are good source of antioxidants and they can inhibit the LDL cholesterol oxidation and also prevent the human from heart diseases and cancer. Prunes are rich in the mineral the boron, which is very useful to fight against osteoporosis. Raisins, which is also locally known as the kismis. These are actually a dried form of grapes, and these are good source of fiber and potassium. And these are having low to medium glycemic index value and very low insulin index value as well. Raisins can lower the blood pressure and improve the blood sugar, and they can also reduce the blood cholesterol level. And eating of raisins give the feeling of fullness in the stomach and these can cure or reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart diseases. Raisins are also very useful to relieve in constipation and maintain the digestive system and also reduce the acidity in the stomach. Raisins are capable of reducing the hypertension and keeps the teeth and bones very healthy. Raisins also can cure the cold and fever and also improves the eyesight and vision. The next one are the apricots. One serving of apricots can provide 47% of daily vitamin A requirement, so it is a very good source of vitamin A. Apricots are also very good source of potassium, vitamin E and copper. As we know that vitamin E is very important in protecting the cells from the damage of free radicals and their oxidative damages. Dried form of the apricots are also good source of health to improve the health for the skin, eyes and also improve the immunity. And these can remove the earlier signs of the aging and can keep the bones and gums very healthy. Next we will discuss about the side effects and some concerns related with the consumption of nuts and dried fruits. Nuts and dried fruits are actually the natural food products and usually they don't have any sort of side effects, but they may be the side effects may be connected with some other issues or basically with the overuse of these nuts and dried fruits. So we will discuss one by one. Actually, the dried fruits are very rich in the sugars and the calories. They are very compact packed the sugars in this, and the most of the sugars are the glucose and fructose. And we can see that the raisins are actually comprising 59% of the sugar content, and the dates are comprising 64 to 66% of the natural sugars. Prunes having 38% sugars, apricots having 53% sugars, and figs are having 48% sugars. So we can see that these dried fruits are actually containing 38 to 66% sugars, and among these 22 to 51% of these sugar contents are the fructose. And keep in mind that taking or intake of too much fructose can have some harmful or the negative health effects. Like it can increase the risk of weight gain and also it can increase the risk of type 2 diabetes and it can also increase the risk of heart diseases. So these the potential risks are associated with the high contents of the natural sugars, so there is need to check on their intake. So if we discuss these further side effects, these side effects are basically concerned with overuse and overconsumption of these nuts or the dry fruits. Pistachio. Pistachio can cause weight gain in case of overconsumption, and it can also increase blood pressure, and it can also cause constipation, loose motions, and flatulence problems. Apricots. Actually, pregnant women and the breastfeeding females should not use the apricots in too much because they can disturb their blood sugar level and also disturb their blood pressure. So they should be very careful in the intake and the consumption of apricots. Walnut. Overuse of walnut can cause some digestive problems, and whereas the dates are concerned, these can also cause increase in blood sugar level because these are very rich in natural sugars. Next are the raisins. If someone have the diabetic problem or having increased blood sugar level, then he or she should avoid the overconsumption of the raisins And they should also consult with the doctors for proper prescription about the intake of the resins. Cashew. Diabetic people should also consult with the doctor for the regular consumption of cashews. And if we talk about the almonds, the overtake of almonds can cause some gastric problem and they can disturb the stomach. Sometimes in dried fruits, the problem may be due to the sulfites, fungi, and toxins. Basically, sulfites are used as a preservatives in dried fruits. They give some colorful, appealing appearance, and they prevent the discoloration of the fruits. So they are actually little showy type of the appearance due to these sulfites. But if people are sensitive to the sulfites, they can have some stomach problems, they can have the skin rashes and also asthma attacks. So the people who are sensitive, especially for general healthcare perspective, we should avoid the sulfite containing dried fruits, and for this purpose we should prefer the dull colored dried fruits, dull colored dried fruits, and we should not prefer the brightly colored dried fruits. And sometimes, if these dried fruits or the nuts are not properly stored, then there may be the problem of the contamination of the fungi. They can produce aflatoxin, toxins, and there may be some other microbial infections as well. So, as we have discussed their health benefits and also discussed their side effects, so comes to the recommendations. So, it is very much recommended that 30 to 60 grams of the nuts should be consumed per day, which will be the beneficial. If we increase the quantity beyond that limit, then it may cause some harmful effects, as we have already discussed. And it should also be taken in care that the early morning consumption of these dried fruits is, or in empty stomach consumption of these dried fruits, is very much beneficial and useful for human health.